Court will come to order. It is Monday, September the 22nd, 2025. It's 9 o'clock in the morning and the Kerr County Commissioners Court is now in session. If you would, please turn your phones off or to vibrate so they don't interrupt the proceedings. And with that, please stand for the prayer and the pledge, which will be led by Commissioner Jones.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we do just humbly come before your throne today. Father, we know that today is a day that we're kind of getting back to some normal business up here at the court. But right on the top of our brains is all the devastation that's happened, the loss of life, the grieving, the processes that we're all going through. So Father, keep us ever mindful of who we are, how you want us to proceed forward, how you want us to honor and glorify you through all of this. Father, be with us throughout this day. Guide and direct our decisions to honor and glorify your kingdom in all that we say and do. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please be seated. First part of every agenda on regular Commissioners Court meeting days, which are the second and fourth Mondays of the month, is public input. And this is an opportunity for those of you in the public to tell us what you think we need to hear. Unfortunately, it's not output, so we don't get to say anything to what you say to us, but we do get to listen, and so that's important. And I only have one speaker on the agenda today, which is former Commissioner Tom Moser, who is heading up our flood warning system team.
Thank you, Judge. A month ago, the court passed the resolution or command for the team to be formed for the flood warning system development and to present the plans of operations within 1 month. So I'm here today to do that. Go to the next, please. We formed the team, next please. We formed a team comprised of myself leading it, representative from UGRA, Kerr County, Rich Paces, City of Ingram, City of Kerrville, and a person from the Long Range Planning Group, Jonathan Letts, and the Emergency Management Coordinator. Our concept is to establish and maintain a unified flood warning system with fully automated capability that provides adequate warning of an impending life-threatening flood in sufficient time for people at risk to reach safety. Next chart, please. We have an architecture that's comprised of two major things, prediction and projection. The prediction part very accurately will predict a flood well in advance of when it's going to occur. The warning device triggers automatically, or can trigger automatically, sirens, cell phones, etc., etc. I'm not going into the detail on that because I don't have time. Next chart, please. On the definition phase of this project, which we're in right now, between now and the end of December, okay, we will establish the requirements for the design and development and testing of the flood warning system. We will prepare requests for proposals. We'll communicate with the county stakeholders, and we'll support grant applications. The design and development phase is will then occur between January and March of next year, where we'll select contractors for the components, and we'll implement a prediction and projection pieces of that after March, between now and next summer of next year. So that's it.
Very good. Thank you. Any other public input? Very well, then we'll move on to Commissioners' comments. Precinct 1.
Yeah, it's been a odd couple of weeks since we last met. I don't know if most of us here had COVID or the flu or what, but we were all sick around here. So that hindered us a little bit. That's not far enough away.
I haven't been sick yet.
I haven't either.
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
But it has been interesting, but it didn't keep me from working on the phones and attending meetings visually, and UGRA had a wonderful meeting. I got to get all the updates from it. I had Commissioner Harris attended the meeting in my stead, and was still able to make the long-term recovery meeting on the riparian cleanup and restoration that UGRA has been so helpful with on everything. I do have a bit of good news. We can't talk about all of it yet because we haven't got everything ironed out yet, but we included about $1.2 million for a temporary bridge and to repair Cade Loop, and it looks like we maybe get that down to a fraction of that. It could be that we don't have to have a temporary bridge at this point. So Charlie and them are working really hard. We're working hard with FEMA and the state to accomplish those goals, to try to have the least amount of impact as possible on our budget. That's it.
Very good. Precinct 2.
Well, I've been continuing to work with Mission Mules. They're an NGO out of San Antonio who have 7 modular homes, 2-bedroom homes that are available, and they'd like to match them with needs here in Kerr County. So they have found matches for 4 of the 7, and I hope that they will allocate one to the Centerpoint resident that I recommended last week. And I'm also working with various groups and individuals who want to help restore our Lions Park and Flat Rock Park facilities. In fact, we have a meeting on October 8th with a new potential donor who wants to help with Flat Rock Park. That's in addition to what the American Legion wants to do. And I'm also pleased that Road and Bridge will be able to do some limited work to repair the road, particularly the one closest to the river in Flat Rock Park. Last Friday, I met with personnel from Texas Parks and Wildlife, along with Texas game wardens, to look at removing some of the new gravel deposits in the river floodplain, and we discussed whether permits would be needed, and they provided much clarity on that issue. We actually looked at 3 different gravel deposits, but of course there are many. Then we held a aggregate production operators advisory council meeting last Tuesday. That was dedicated to discussing the July 4th flood and its impact on our aggregate miners. The aggregate miners reported that close to 3 billion gallons of water were diverted from the river into existing aggregate mining pits along the Guadalupe River from Kerrville to Comfort. There's no doubt that this had a positive impact on lessening the severity of the flood downstream, and especially for Comfort. We also discussed the potential removal of some of the large gravel deposits in the floodplain and provided an update on debris collection. And we did have a representative from Parks and Wildlife that was there to answer questions on the gravel removal. Texas Water Development Board is soliciting ideas for flood research projects that will improve the state's resilience to flood events. So yesterday, I suggested a project to hire an engineering firm with capability to accurately map the Guadalupe River plain topography using the LiDAR data that was recently obtained during search and recovery efforts. And that would, number 1, more accurately determine the volume of water that was diverted from the river into existing aggregate mining pits during the flood, and 2, identify additional low-lying areas, for example, other old abandoned mine pits that didn't flood, but that could be connected to the river at very low cost to take some additional volumes out of the river and further mitigate the impact of a flood on residents and businesses located downstream. Finally, I commend the Dallas County Republican Party Executive Committee, who passed 2 momentous resolutions to conduct a separate 2026 Dallas County Republican Party primary election, eliminate countywide voting, and return to precinct-based voting for Election Day. The committee also approved eliminating electronic voting systems and implementing precinct-based voting with hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots. Can't tell you how significant that is. That's all.
Precinct 3.
I just want to commend Commissioner Paces on that meeting. I attended that aggregate meeting, and what I learned was, I think, getting close to 3 billion gallons of water was diverted, which saved, I think, primarily one of the 3 reasons the town of Comfort didn't flood downrange. Yes, the creeks took a lot. So did the aggregate mines, and they have a history of providing services, but one of which I did not see is water retention. Pretty interesting. Animal control, there's some meetings there's some information on our agenda that we're going to get into a little bit about that. I am grateful for Reagan Givens as he continues to make sure that that building goes up properly, hosts the meetings with our builders, and then travels to see the right kind of dog kennels that we need. More to talk about that in the future. There is a emergency responder meeting. I want to make sure y'all are tracking that. It's on our website, it's mentioned, but it is at the Hill Country Youth Event Center next weekend. I'm glad we're hosting that. I think it's good to figure out where we're going to be in the future as we look at emergency response and next phase, next gen, if you will. Things are getting brown out there. I'm watching the burn ban. Pretty close to making a decision about something this weekend, but I'm going to let that go because we have rain expected Wednesday and Thursday, about a half inch. But the burn ban remains lifted for those that are not on the river. 4-H equine. I had a little tour out there on this weekend as I looked at the outdoor arena and the indoor arena and plans for the future as we want to get back to a little more horse riding here at the Hill Country Youth Event Center. And I was surprised at how much traffic is still going on with emergency response. Some of y'all who don't go there or see it all the time, like our other two commissioners who remain dedicated to that cause, don't understand how much coordination still occurs for our disaster response cell, which I think combined all there. And then I saw a totaled home, and it kind of took me back because it was my church lady, if you will. The church I go to, totaled home. And it's not really on the radar. Thank you, Robbie, for that. And that might need a modular home, so I'm going to contact you on that later. And it's interesting, it's the one you didn't see or the one you didn't know about, the small little home, the underinsured, the people who are just barely making ends meet that really need the most help. And I'm glad to have found that place and maybe not be ready for a loan, or some people find it very difficult, and I'm going to give them assistance where I can. Lastly, timelines are coming up. To be reminded, it's on our website. Please look at that. For those that want to be contracted for debris removal, that's at the end of this month, really, 1st of October. So please do that if you are still waiting for debris removal. That's important. Watch those timelines. That's it. Thank you.
All right, we got a couple things coming up. Our Kerr Wildlife Management Area is celebrating 75 years. October 3rd, they'll have an all-day event, and you'd be surprised if you've never been out there. Some of the studies they've done on different types of wildlife, especially white-tailed deer, and they're going to have a lot of different speakers, so it'd be worthwhile to go out there if you've never been out there, and they'll have tours of the facilities and the ranch itself. The next day, on October 4th, Saturday, Ingram Loop's having a street dance, and it's kind of getting the community all back together and getting some back to normal a little bit, and that'll be a good event. So I encourage you to take it in that. I want to pile on to a couple things the rest of the commissioners talked about. Yes, I went to the UGRA meeting the other day and listened to a really good presentation by Mike Hughes on detention dams and how they might come into effect and help us, offset some of the flooding that we had. And so it was worthwhile. Another thing on the gravel in the rivers, we have a couple different types. Some that was man-made, and of course others that were river-made. And the man-made ones, we've already been in discussions with Tatum and what have you to get those fixed. You know, our recovery people moved gravel around so they get the other side of the river, and early on with the recovery aspect, and so that needs to be fixed because they diverted the natural flow of the river. And I've been surprised. knock on wood, but, you hear horror stories about FEMA and state and everything, but through this whole process, they have been outstanding. And Commissioner Jones will back me up on that. We've developed some pretty good relationships, and those relationships and working with these people have really affected what our tax rate is this year going to be. They've been great. And sometimes a little bit of wrestling match out there, but it gets done. And I like those relationships we have going right now. Let's see. I think that's about it.
Yeah, one quick, we anticipated 1.3 million cubic yards, and we're there now.
I read it this morning.
Okay.
I tabulate them every morning when they send me the report, and we are now at 1.3 million cubic yards of debris that has been removed, and we're still working.
Right.
It was estimated
It
to be
looks
one.
pretty clean out there, though. I don't know. How much more is there?
Well,
All the
You
right
can't see it
right of
all.
entry in the river.
Yeah. Okay.
the comments that I would make is, number one, remember NIM Kid's definition of disaster. There are 3 disasters within a disaster. First is the event. We're still dealing with that. We're getting it cleaned up better, but we're still dealing with the event. And the search and rescue continues as we speak. Still search and rescue. After the event, the second disaster, we are beginning to see, and I'm grateful that MHDD is here, but it is a mental health disaster that happens. And this is not easily or quickly solved or addressed. It is insidious. And I think everybody has some sort of PTSD impact from this flood. It's something that we need to be sensitive about and aware of. And then the third disaster, you're going to hear us talk about probably for the rest of the year and probably next year, and maybe the year after. And it's the money disaster. And you see all these DPS troopers, and you see TDM here, and you see FEMA here, and you think they're going to come to our rescue and they're going to pay for everything that has to be done. Well, they are here to help us, and they are our friends, and we have a wonderful working relationship, and we're grateful that they're here. But the public needs to know that a big chunk of the price tag is going to have to be paid by the county. We're already paying millions of dollars. And everything we do has a match to it. Whether it's a flood warning system, there's a match to that, match to FEMA, a match on everything. And so county finances are going to be tight, just so you know. And with that, I don't have anything else to say, to share this morning. So let's move on to the consideration agenda. First item is 1.1. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on a request to use the courthouse grounds for the annual Hanukkah celebration set up on December 14 and event on December 20. Greg Bittkauer.
I represent the Jewish community that was founded in 1983. And 8 years ago, we started doing an annual Hanukkah celebration with now we have a 12-foot menorah that we put up. We have live traditional music. We tell the story and the miracle of Hanukkah, and it's a big community event. And so this year, we'd like to put it up at the beginning of Hanukkah so it shines all week, and then do the actual celebration on the 21st of December.
I'll tell you, my grandmother would roll over in her grave if I didn't make this motion, so I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the use of the courthouse grounds for the Hanukkah celebration as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Item 1.2, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the Suicide Prevention Month proclamation. See all these green shirts?
They're not environmentalists?
No, they're mental health.
We're here for you.
Yeah, I need it.
I'm Kelsey Mulhott, the Director of Community Development of Country MHCD.
I'm Nicole Cox, the clinic director here in Kerrville.
I'm Maddie Zerai, our team lead for crisis response here. First of all, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be here and have this platform to speak, and for you touching on mental health post-disaster response. Just to let everybody know, we do have a free Emotional Support Center located at 819 Water Street. And this was set up in response to the flood. Anybody can come. We're not trying to find, IDs. We're not trying to check your name or anything. It's just a safe space for people to talk. The proclamation is pretty meaty, so I'm just going to point out some highlights about suicide prevention. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and suicide affects nearly 4,376 Texans in 2023, leaving an immeasurable impact on families, friends, and communities across our state. Young Texans face particular challenges with 1,499 deaths by suicide from 2021 to 2022 for ages 10 to 24 in Texas, and the youth suicide age-adjusted rate for the 10 to 19-year-old age group at 7.36 per 100,000 in Texas during 2021, which is above overall the U.S. rate for this group. Texas high school students report higher percentages of having made a suicide plan, which is 19.8%, compared to U.S. as a whole as 17.6%. Suicide rates and attempts require medical attention larger in Texas than the national average. Whereas vulnerable populations in Texas face disproportionate risks, including youth and foster care systems who have a suicide mortality rate more than 3 times the rate of youth in Texas, and veterans ages 18 to 34 whose suicide mortality rate rose 91.6% between 2001 and 2019.
Could you repeat that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Repeat that statistic.
Okay. Veterans aged 18 to 34 whose suicide mortality rate rose 91.6% between 2001 and 2019. Texas Hill Country region, we face significant challenges with suicide rates. With the Hill Country Mental Health and Developmental Disability Services areas, we are experiencing a 76% increase in suicide mortality rates since 1999, with consistently higher death rates than the state average and 136 people dying from suicide in the catchment area in 2023 alone. Mental health crisis is reflected in healthcare utilization data, with 207 inpatient hospitalizations for suicide attempts, 435 departments visited for U.S. suicide attempts, and 2,002 emergency department visits for suicidal ideation among residents of the Hill Country MHD Center's catchment area in 2023. According to the research, there are approximately 135 people affected in some way by each suicide death, including 18 lost survivors who experience a short or long-term bereavement from death, meaning there would be approximately 594,760 people affected by suicide and 78,768 new lost survivors in Texas in 2023 alone. Suicide is preventable, and evidence-based interventions, including strengthening economic support, creating protective environments, improving access to mental health services, promoting healthy relationships, teaching coping skills, and identifying and supporting people at risk can save lives. Providing school-based mental health services has been shown to decrease self-reported suicide attempts by 15%, demonstrating the power of early intervention and support. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 confidential crisis support for people in distress, and hope, healing, and recovery is possible. And every Texan deserves to know that their life has value, that help is available when they need it the most, and particularly through dedicated organizations such as Hill Country MHD, which we serve 19 counties, and our administrative office is here at Kerr, literally right down the road. With a mission to have people have positive control under the life they deserve and find satisfying help. People have positive control, and I'm sorry, I just got over COVID, so I'm like, my brain's like a little messy. Have positive control over the life they desire and find satisfying, and people are recognized and valued for their contributions for the communities, while promoting hope, independence, community integration, and recovery through comprehensive behavioral health services.
Thank you. As the Kerr County representative on the MHDD board, I make a motion that we approve Suicide Prevention Month proclamation as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to thank you. It's some great work that you guys are doing, especially for people involved in the flood and some of the counseling you've been doing. I know I attended a session. It helped. Like,
I did too.
all of our Center Point
And it helped.
Volunteer Fire Department guys that were involved in search and recovery it was mandatory to attend, but it's good. And I just want to thank you.
The last thing I would like to say is there anybody in Kerr County, we do have a 24-hour crisis support line in place that I need to get that. If anybody were to need that, the number is 877-466-0660, and there's one of us on call 24/7, and I'm happy to come and stay and talk.
There you have it.
I'll just also make the point, there were so many volunteers that went out to help with search and recovery, search and rescue. So this is a great service for any of those folks to show up. There's no cost.
And
And, you know,
to that, we understand and recognize that this is not just impacted Kerr County. There's been search and rescue people from all over the United States. There's families all over. So there is a flood crisis hotline number 2 that's open to everybody that's been impacted.
That's good,
We'll help
too.
you get with the resources you need.
point is, you can't unsee what you see when you recover bodies and so forth. So you probably need help.
Any other discussion?
No.
Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you, ladies. The next item on the agenda, which is the timed item for 9 o'clock, is 1.3. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the 911 budget for fiscal year 26. Mr. Del Toro.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. In accordance with Texas Health and Safety Code, Chapter 772, Subchapter D, I'm here to request your approval for our fiscal year 2026 budget and answer any questions. That budget has been presented to you.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
There was a little bit of discussion.
Okay, well, okay.
Look, I just wanted to commend Mark and his group. I mean, I very much appreciate that they aren't taking any kind of salary increases in their budget. And I think that's extremely commendable. They're there to serve and work with the revenues that they receive. And my hat's off to you.
We get 75 cents per month for each class of service of telephone service,
Yeah.
except for cell phones. We're getting 50 cents a month per cell phone. And that may seem trivial, but we mind that
Yeah.
75 cents a month.
Right.
Well, I appreciate your leadership.
Thank you.
Got a motion and a second. Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Tara, I'm going to ask you to wait. We've got a timed item at 9:30. And we'll do that and then come back to you. Okay. This is item 1.8, which is the timed item for 8:30. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to hire for open deputy constable position. This is Constable Snyder.
Morning. I'm here in accordance with Chapter 151 of the Local Government Code, which required me to come before you when we have a deputy constable position to hire for. I need approval to advertise and hire a deputy constable position that was already budgeted and was created with a resignation around June of this year. So I just need approval to go out and hire, or advertise and hire, and I'll come back with, to be in accordance with Chapter 86 of the Local Government Code when we have a candidate and get your approval to hire that person.
I'll move to approve the Constable Precinct 2 to advertise to hire an open deputy constable position.
Second.
Got a motion to post and hire the deputy constable position as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, Tiger. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Bushnell. This is item 1.4, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to authorize an interlocal agreement between Kerr County and the Upper Guadalupe River Authority for water quality protection through the feral hog management.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Tara Bushnell, Upper Guadalupe River Authority. This is an annual item that so that we can continue to provide the bounty and trapping program that's been a partnership with Kerr County since 2017. Continuing the same terms that we had in FY25. So if the hog is harvested in Kerr County, you can bring the tail to Animal Services, fill out some paperwork, and then they'll send a check for $12 per tail. And then we reimburse the county for a portion of that bounty fee, as well as the fee to operate the camera system on the traps, which is a monthly service charge as well. And in addition, we have a sign up on our website on the feral hog section for landowners that are interested in having the county and UGRA owned trap on their property, that they can fill out just a quick information form, and then our staff will contact them about setting that up.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to renew the interlocal agreement with the UGRA for water quality protection through feral hog management as presented. For those of you that don't know, we're very close partners with UGRA. We work with them on almost everything, it seems like.
We appreciate that partnership very much.
Yes. And this is just another example of it.
Yes.
We have a good system going. You know, the county takes care of a lot of the bookkeeping and what have you, and collections of the tails and what have you, and the bulk of the money is paid by, the bounty is paid by UGRA, but it's been ongoing, and we can't let up.
No.
They'll take over.
And hence my question, Tara, are we making progress? I mean, how well is this
it's like
program
eating an
working?
elephant.
Is it?
I mean, the program continues to be frequently used.
Yep.
So there's progress in that. I don't know that we've had a comprehensive survey in the county
Right.
to
And
say
that's what we
whether or
need
not
to
we're gaining
See how
on
big the
ground.
problem actually remains, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
I'm all
guys,
for it, though.
It remains substantial.
Well, there's reports you need to harvest at least 2/3 a year to even stay even.
Yeah.
It's a tough deal, but if you stop.
No,
then
I
it
don't want to
just goes
stop. I'm
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
curious if we're making.
Unless my
headway or
numbers are
not.
wrong,
Are
I
we
don't know.
losing? Are we losing the battle? That's what I'm.
Back when I used to live in that world, I think if you leave one breeding pair, they can produce up to 800 in their lifetime. And so you're not gonna catch up. All you can do is fend it off.
yes, kind
Yes.
of slow the increase.
Correct.
Okay, any
Just-
other discussion?
One comment.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Bushnell, for your continued leadership. Hadn't been easy for you, and I recognize that. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much. We're a great team in Kerr County.
I'll second that motion, too.
The board seconds this.
Thank you.
Okay. Those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you. Item 1.5, it's a presentation from the Small Business Administration Resources, Gabriel Perales.
Sir, Judge, if you don't mind, there's 6 copies there. If you don't mind describing it.
You bet.
Yes, that's the way it goes.
Judge, Commissioners, first of all, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share some of the information that we have today. My name is Gabriel Perales. I'm a Public Information Officer for the United States Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. And before I start and get into some of the documents that you all have before you, what I'd like to do is provide an update as of last Friday where we were at in terms of disaster assistance that SBA has provided for this declaration. As of last Friday, we've had over 1,900 applications and have offered out over $21 million of low disaster loans for those that have been impacted by the flooding of July 4th. So unfortunately, you won't see these numbers anywhere in the paperwork that I did provide for you, but I did want to give you, again, at least real-time number from my side, the last numbers that came in. So with that being said, I also want to start going into something that is happening right now with SBA. As many of you all know, SBA's physical application deadline is September 28th. And so as an agency, what we've already started to do is transition from physical damage to economic injury. The difference between physical damage is that deadline is September 28th. Meanwhile, our economic injury disaster loans, which is to help businesses that suffered economic loss, that application deadline is April 6th of 2026. So for any business within the 10 counties that are identified as primary counties that you see on that green sheet, the fact sheet, that first one, and all the contiguous counties that are also outlined there, they are now, again, the primary focus for us. We're now talking about economic injury, which really provides working capital to any business that may either need to pay the lights, pay their employees, pay the mortgage, whatever it is that they need to do to continue to get their business back up and running the way it was prior to July the 4th. And so as we transition to the economic injury, because again, our deadline for physical damage is on its way here, a week away, so we're now transitioning as we go around the contiguous areas. And it's something that I continue to be on the ground, as I say, pounding the pavement, going to as many of the counties that I'm responsible for, and continue to ask the court here to share with those areas that are unincorporated but part of Kerr County, and don't have local government. So in all, what we're wanting to do here is let people know, for those that don't know actually, SBA at a time of disaster continues to help not only businesses, but homeowners, renters, and nonprofits. And for any homeowner, renter, nonprofit, and business still seeking physical damage assistance, they have up until September 28th. And we continue to have the 3 locations where they can either apply in person if they would like assistance from our staff, or they can still apply online at sba.gov/disaster. And again, they can also call our 800 number at 800-659-2955, all of which can be found on the information that you all have in front of you. Just to recap the physical damage that is available for those that were impacted, homeowners can qualify for up to $500,000 at a low interest rate of only 2.81%, up to a 30-year term with no payments and no interest for a year. Homeowners and renters can qualify for up to $100,000 for personal loss, and that's clothes, furniture, and up to including vehicles. And again, same terms apply, 2.81%, no payments, no interest for a year, and again, it's up to a 30-year term. Nonprofits that were impacted physically can also qualify for up to $2 million, and that's at an interest rate as low as 3.62%. Again, up to a 30-year term, no payments, no interest for the first year. And lastly, businesses that suffered physical damage can also qualify for up to $2 million to repair or replace physical damage. Again, an interest rate as low as 4% for the business community, and up to a 30-year term as well, with no payments and no interest for the first year. So that's what's available. Just a quick recap, still for the next week. There's pending discussions about possibly still extending the deadline. I'm not sure if that's gonna come down or not. SBA as an agency has also discussed a possible grace period or extending it just for SBA services. But in terms of FEMA and SBA deadlines, as of right now, they are September 28th with the state. If they should change, of course, we'll keep you updated. If they don't change and the 28th continues to be the physical damage deadline, then SBA is also exploring other alternatives to possibly do their own agency extension if it happens. So if it does happen, we'll keep you posted. But for now, again, I just really wanted to give you an update and say I know I've spoken to Judge Kelly and asked for his assistance before in terms of continuing to keep our information at the forefront. I think it was mentioned earlier, loans may not be for everybody, and that's understandable. But what this is really an opportunity for individuals and businesses to bridge the gap, and they're either uninsured and underinsured, and maybe other funds from other agencies just are not enough to get them back on track. And that's where we come in and say, if you need it, here we are, take advantage of it. If you don't need it, not a problem. There's no cost to apply. That's the best part about it. And we certainly encourage individuals and businesses to submit their application and have that possibility of being approved versus missing the deadline and then realizing later on down the road that assistance will no longer be available. So with that said, I open it up to any questions or concerns, but I do thank you all for the opportunity to speak on this today.
I've got a couple questions for you, Gabriel. You mentioned that you've given out $21 million in loans so far. What's the approximate split between homes versus businesses?
So at a time of disaster, and unfortunately, I don't have the exact numbers, Commissioner, but I can share with you that at a time of disaster, the majority of the funds or loans that we offer are towards homeowners and renters. It really typically ends up about 75-25
Yeah.
in terms of percentage homeowners, renters to business,
Yeah.
in terms of loans
So,
offered.
you know, the feedback I'm hearing, especially from some of the business owners, is, you know, they already have a loan or a mortgage or whatever that they're still obligated to pay, and taking out another one is not overly helpful. So are you able to direct them and connect them to other resources besides SBA?
Sure, so most of our sites will have possible additional resources that they might have at the tables that they can share with either homeowners or businesses, depending who it is. You know, overall, again, we can't necessarily help what they've had before. All SBA can say is, this is what we offer. One of the things that doesn't get discussed too often, though, is not only are you able to apply for a disaster interest loan, but part of it can also be refinancing. And so a lot of people aren't necessarily too familiar with the fact that they can refinance possible existing loans. Again, it just depends on their individual situation on whether or not, again, they get it approved for enough funds that can engulf their existing loans or mortgages and then bring them on to the new loan at a much lower interest rate. You know, the last thing I'll also share on our loans is, and we get asked this question every day by general public. Unfortunately, these loans at these rates are not available for the general public. This is for survivors only. So if you were impacted and survived, then you qualify and are eligible to qualify for these rates. Otherwise, unfortunately, you would not be eligible if you were just the general public seeking a lower interest rate.
That's good, yeah. I'm not sure that the public is aware that they can refinance under this program, so that's good information.
Absolutely. So there's a couple of other things, and again, we don't necessarily, again, you know, at a time of disaster, the hope is from SBA is we offer assistance so that you can rebuild
Yes.
the community that was impacted, right? Refinance is one option. Relocation is another. And again, do we make relocation a priority? Not necessarily, because the whole goal is let's try to help build the community back that was impacted. But we have relocation, refinance, mitigation. You know, for those that have applied for physical damage, they can qualify for up to an additional 20% of their total loss for mitigation efforts, building back better and smarter in hopes of not falling to the next disaster or to the next flood. So that's another option that, again, isn't necessarily at the front of our marketing material, but the hope is that once they get to our centers and talk to our staff, those options will also get explored and relate to survivors as well.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Appreciate
Well,
what
thank
you're
you
doing.
for coming. A lot of people don't understand where the SBA fits into the overall picture of our recovery. Everybody's familiar with FEMA and total losses. If you lost your home, FEMA's there for you. FEMA coverage actually is triggered when it is substantial damage, which means at least 50% of value is lost in your property. So you got to have more than 50% worth of damage for FEMA to help you. And for those of you that don't have 50% loss of value, you go to the SBA. And they do it, it's not a handout, it's a loan. It's about 50, probably less than 50% of what the market rate is. And they're very easy to work with. I've worked with them. For those of you that do have losses, this is something you ought to look into before the deadline passes. Seriously.
Thank you, Judge. And you're absolutely right. If I may end with that, we love our counterparts at FEMA. Where FEMA, obviously, where FEMA goes, SBA goes. FEMA has a name recognition. They're like the Dallas Cowboys. You know, everywhere they go. But we're right there with them everywhere they go. And as much as we love to say, hey, we're grants as well, you know, that's the difference. FEMA's grant money, SBA is low disaster loans. And I think the biggest difference is, again, FEMA has a cap on the amount that they have, which you can get in terms of grant, where SBA, as mentioned earlier as well, is long-term. We'll be here long-term, also trying to lead the recovery efforts for as long as we need to.
Did you
If you're
pick
gonna
up?
use a football team for an analogy, you might pick a different one.
Yeah, after this weekend.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Cowboys.
Okay. Next item is 1.6. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve and adopt the district clerk's 25-26 preservation and restoration records plan as approved in the 25-26 budget. Ms. Lands.
I'm just bringing this to the court, as it was approved in our budget, and this is just something, just so I have it in the records, that it's a yearly thing that does need to come before the court. So it's only for the 25-26 budget year.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the preservation and restoration records plan as presented. Any discussion?
No, I appreciate the plan. It's well thought out, well laid out. Good.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you. Item 1.7, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the 25-26 district clerk civil filing fees and approve as presented. Ms. Lands.
This is our civil filing fees with the 89th legislature. There was only one change within our fees, and that is on our expunctions. It has changed, we charge $24 and it's gone up to $25 now. So that's the only change within the fees. So, but I still have to bring it before the court as these are fees that go to the
I'll make a motion to approve the 25-26 district clerk civil filing fees as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the filing fees as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you.
It is now 9:50, which we have a scheduled break. Next agenda items are 4 in a row with animal services, so why don't we go ahead and take a break now, and we'll come back with Reagan Gibbons.
He almost went up.
Take 5 minutes. Court will come back to order. We have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is item 1.9. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve job description for position at the Kerr County Animal Control. Reagan Gibbons.
Good morning, everybody. So this is just one part formality because a position change was approved. One part of that was when I actually wrote on the request. It was actually not totally what I intended. Changed to shelter coordinator. I just wanted to change to shelter manager. So there's no change from what was approved.
I move for approval.
A second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the job description as modified. Shelter manager.
It wasn't on here, but yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Well, yeah,
Did a motion
and
and
a
a
second.
second. Any
Any
discussion?
discussion?
Yeah, he was asking if I'd seen the job description. I thought we had it
I
earlier
haven't
this
actually
week.
seen one, but
Yeah, we got it earlier this
if you
week.
sent it by email, then maybe I missed it.
Maybe a quick review? Job description, manager?
Yes, sir. So basically what, and I apologize I do not have it in front of me, but the gist of it is this individual oversees direct supervision of 8 different employees. That's kennel techs and a receptionist. Basically the way we're set up is everything pretty much goes through that person anyway. They've got their hands in everything that goes on in the facility. I made a few moves recently to have them also be frontline supervising animal control officers. Basically, it's a go-between for me. It's somebody that can handle some things as an extra supervisory position to just assist me, basically. All shelter stuff, it still comes to me, but it goes through them first, and it's works much better. They're already doing all these things. I just wanted the supervisory ability in there, and just the adoption coordinator position is just not really totally, they're still going to be doing those things, but it's just not really all they do. So I just wanted it to be a
Better job description.
Yes.
We received it on the 19th.
And so the court and the public understands, you have a large volunteer arm, we know, we see them often. Who affects the volunteer coordination
This individual.
as well? Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Nope. Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Move on to item 1.10. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to rescind court order number 41503, awarding the contract for dog kennels to Stone Mountain. And Mr. Letts wants to appear. Who's going to talk first? Letts or you? Go ahead and start, Ray.
Thank you.
Probably be a little bit of guidance here, but we may not actually want to totally rescind that, but whenever I come to you for approval on the amount, it actually turns out that was not including an engineering fee and shipping. So, the price is a little bit different, so I don't know if we need to rescind that.
I think we can just adopt an additional order for the $43,000. That's what we're short, right?
Yes, sir.
We just need to authorize you to pay that.
They're still a little bitter, right?
They're still a little better by about $20,000.
So you're asking us to approve an order to pay an additional $43,573 to Stone Mountain for these dog kennels.
So yes, sir, the total price, I guess last time it was 200, what I came to y'all with was 234. 234, 433.82.
Right.
The actual price for the 52 that's kennels is still a recommendation. And then the shipping, it ends up being $278,006.82 is what that actually is.
And I know we have a timing issue, but also wanted for installation before the end, and that's important, but also wanted to hear from Mr. Letts. Sir, did you have any comments or concerns about this as our contractor representative?
There's a little bit of confusion on this, this is all, everything Ring said is accurate. One of the things, and this goes, I think, the 2 agenda items down, which I recommend passing on, we were thinking about doing an amendment to the bid. But once Reagan contacted everyone and the lead time to get this done, and I talked to J.K. Bernhardt, they need to have them by the middle of December, because they're installing these. And if we delay them, they're gonna have, taken away that, I think they have $20,000 budget for this. So, I think we can get the bids lower a little bit, but it's not worth it, because we have to pay, and that pay J.K. Bernhardt $20,000 for,
Right.
for pay some. So bottom line is, I recommend we go ahead and go with exactly what Reagan said, this, be $43,573 more than we thought, cover shipping and engineering, and we gotta read the fine print.
Thank you. And I understand it was included in the bid, but it wasn't part of the number. It was like an additional,
They had two different, they put their bid on two
Creative.
different forms, and we went off one form and we went off the other.
okay?
Do I have a motion?
Oh, sorry, make a motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the supplemental payment to Stone Mountain for the kennels as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to item 111, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept donations to the Kerr County Animal Services totaling $5,854 for the month of August. Mr. Gibbons.
Yes, we had another big month with donations in August, and it's a total of $5,854. And then, we had other miscellaneous items, still donated as usual here and there as well.
And every dollar counts? Plan for that?
Yes, sir.
Is this FFE money for the future, you think, or is this covering dog food for the donations?
Right now, I don't know.
Put it into the reserve?
I know we've had to, we don't have to buy any dog food right now. I know that.
You have a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's good. Thank you. I'll make a motion to
Second.
approve.
Motion and a second to accept the donations to the Kerr County Animal Services as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.12, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to amend or rebid dog kennels for a new animal control facility.
I guess
Gentlemen,
that's
yeah,
pass.
I'm going to pass on
Pass.
this.
Okay. Okay, on to the 10 o'clock items. Item 1.13, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the quarterly report of the Veteran Services Advisory Committee. Gary Nolan.
Morning, Gary Noller, 140 Ray Drive, Center Point. Here with the Veteran Service Advisory Committee, also have Vicki Marsh and Mark Del Toro, as well as the Veterans County Service Officer, Jim Sanchez here. The Advisory Committee met with Chase and Jenna last week, and we kind of got caught up on things. We don't really have regular scheduled meetings, so we try to meet at least once a quarter. It's very busy summer for everybody. Jenna and Chase have been doing a fantastic job, continuing to do a fantastic job for veterans in Kerr County. And we usually address the numbers a little bit, which is the big money items, money coming in from the Department of Veterans Affairs to veterans, survivors, and dependents living in Kerr County. Jenna brought us notes for second quarter, which ended June 30th. The amount of retroactive award, $718,000. The future award for monthly payments, $1,146,000. Total of those two is $1,867,000. That's for 3 months. We can kind of expect probably that's going to be 4 times that by the end of it. And I think when I first started looking at these numbers anyway, way back when, 10, 15 years ago, it's almost $2 million. We got $2 million would have been pretty good for 1 year. Now we're turning out $2 million for 1 quarter, just through the Veterans County Service Officer here. So that kind of speaks a lot, I think, as to what they do and how they help. I always use the word help to improve the lives of veterans and their families. And some of it is money. A big part of it is money, but that's not all. Right at the beginning of this quarter, July, we had the tragic floods that came through Kerr County and central Texas as a whole, and immediately Chase and Jenna jumped on that, went over to the V.T. Wilson Center, where there were a lot of relief agencies over there. And I think probably about 11:30 on July 4th, Jenna gave me a call, said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." I live 4 miles away from the river at 1,800 feet. My brother was much closer. He had to be ordered to leave his place by the Center Point Fire Department, and my brother's pretty level-headed, so he left when they told him to leave. But we know there were veterans who were affected by the flooding. Chase and Jenna report that they spent the equivalent of 33 and a half days on the telephone calling veterans in Kerr County, basically to do a welfare check. How are you? How are you doing? Were you affected by the flood? Is there anything that you need? Do you know how to get resources? And I'm sure there were some veterans that lost everything. One of them right across the street from the Center Point Fire Department. And so they're out on the street with nothing. So Jen and Chase helped coordinate response. There are some agencies that particularly were wanting to help veterans. They're veteran-centered organizations. So they were directed in that manner. So certainly appreciate the quickness of that. It wasn't like a week later or a month later. It was a couple hours later that they were. Also during the summer, Jenna received an award from the Texas Veterans Commission. Did you bring it? Huh?
I did.
Well, Texas Veterans Commission doesn't hire county veteran service officers. The county does, but the Texas Veterans Commission helps train them and certifies them and helps them get their accreditation through the Department of Veterans Affairs, and also establishes routine yearly training, annual training required. And so back in July, I believe it was July, again during the midst of all of the tragedy here, they had a conference and awarded 3 of these awards in the state of Texas. And Jenna got one. Texas Veterans Commission Claims Excellence Award, honoring excellence in service to our nation's heroes. And so I think they use the word excellence. It's not outstanding. It's not very good. It's not minimal meeting expectations. It's excellence. And so I think that Jenna rightfully deserves that award. I appreciate the fact that the state of Texas agrees with that. She was nominated by one of her peers. I think that's also an indication of what she has been able to do. I think Jenna's now for 6 years. Chase is here 2 years now. So we've got a lot of stability, finally, in the County Veterans Service Office. And this is a result. It comes up in the numbers, it comes up in the outreach that Jen and Chase did, it comes up in recognition. A couple other things, news items kind of is Alamo Area Council of Governments kind of prevailed with some HEB gift cards. A couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago, they contacted Jenna. They made these available to veterans over the age of 60. I had a veteran over the age of 60, so Jenna got the word out. Again, she's not sitting on her hands. And it was supposed to kick off, I think, at 10 o'clock in the morning. So like at 9 o'clock, there were 30 veterans already over there, and by 10 o'clock, there was probably 50 or 60 veterans over there. So they passed out all the cards they had, and Jenna got more cards and kept a list of veterans who didn't get their card. And then he came back and had a second round. And I think that's also an indication that Alamo Area Council of Governments, when they come to Kerr County, distribute some cards to some folks. They chose the Veterans County Service Office to use it. And Jen and Chase did a great job on that. They brought some other people in, and it needs to be done every year. Last couple items here. One of them, the Alley Burton building is going to be dedicated on November 11th. That's Veterans Day, 3 p.m. Jen and Chase are in charge of that. We're gonna have kind of a celebration down there. And I know she's, right now, is gathering together some funding to help cover the cost of some amenities to go in the building, a nice bench to go outside on, some other kinds of decorations and refreshments. So the veterans organizations are being asked to help with that. And last thing I wanted to say is possibly you saw in the local newspaper on Saturday, there was an article in there about the Audie L. Murphy Memorial VA Hospital in San Antonio received a 5-star rating for Medicare as an acute care hospital. And I used to always check the VA website to kind of see what they're promoting themselves all about. And I also did a check as to see who else got that 5-star rating. And you have to go a ways down the road to find somebody besides Audie L. Murphy in San Antonio who got a 5-star rating. It's the only VA hospital in the state of Texas to get 5-star. The other 4 got 4 stars. A lot of the San Antonio hospitals only got 3 stars. So if you're a veteran and you need to go to the hospital, and you want to go to the best hospital, or let's say the highest rated hospital by Medicare, you want to go to 5-star, that's Audie Murphy. And so a lot of people have a misconception about what VA healthcare is all about. And most all the 90% to 95% of veterans who get health care from VA are satisfied. And certainly the fact that the VA staff under Dr. Julie Flynn and San Antonio get 5-star rating, that's something that I, as a veteran, and I know other veterans of Kerr County, really appreciate the fact that it's an hour down the road, but it's almost, like I said, the highly rated hospital is an hour down the road. That gives us some comfort. That's my report.
Okay.
I move to accept.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to accept the report as presented.
Yep. But I also want to congratulate Jenna. I mean, that's just an amazing achievement. I must admit, every month when I read your monthly reports that you submit, I am totally impressed at how much you accomplish each month. So, thank you. I mean, it's just a wonderful service to all of our veterans. Great job.
I want to join in recognizing Jenna, but I want to also recognize the committee, the board. Mark Del Toro, Gary Noller, Vicki Marsh, Jeff Harris, and who's number 5 now?
We're one short.
Okay. When I came on this court, you cannot believe what veteran services looked like. It was an embarrassment, truly, and humiliation, still the truth. And what y'all have done in the last 6, 8 years is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We can't thank you enough for your leadership and your dedication. Jenna.
Sometimes it's the small things like I'm holding right here, the new ID card for retirees that they need to get, and facilitating that so they can do that correctly is important, let alone what you're doing with the nursing homes and trying to find spots for people. That's above beyond the call of duty. Appreciate that. And it is maybe a good moment for a picture if we have a moment, especially with the board here and us and that trophy.
Photo op.
Recommend it.
Who's got a camera?
I do. Lisa not here.
Okay.
Well, there you go. That'll work. What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna do it?
Why don't we take the whole court down front and put them right in?
I'd like that.
So that everybody's in the photo?
It's actually better.
Now we're gonna have to get close.
Commissioner Lex, would you do me a favor?
Wherever you want. Okay. Everybody tilt towards the middle. As we get closer.
Act like we like each other.
We do.
I'm gonna get one for Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have the best advisory board, I will say.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda.
Judge, we need to vote first.
Oh, those in favor, raise your hand.
Okay. Thank you.
We ratified it. Item 1.14, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the Commissioners Court to approve the general contract with JCW Construction LLC for the installation of guardrails on Arrowhead Creek Road, which was damaged in the July 4, 2025 flood event. Ms. Hoffer.
Before you is a general contract with JCW Construction LLC for the repair and replacement of the guardrail and all components for the guardrail for Arrowhead Bridge that was damaged in the July 4th, 2025 flood. All of the forms have been submitted from 1295, proof of insurance, and the general contract, along with the proposal. We will pay for this repair replacement out of line item 15-612-560, which is our guardrail line item. At this time, I ask the Commissioners Court for their approval of the general contract with JCW Construction LLC. And this location is in Precinct 4.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the general contract with JCW Construction as presented. Any discussion?
Yeah, Heather, is this one of the type Bs that we had approved?
The what?
I don't know if it's a type.
For FEMA?
This is permanent.
I think it's
This is
C.
the permanent?
Yeah.
I think it's C, type C.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But it's one of our FEMA.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Can you
We've got some more to come for next.
maybe explain what a type A, B, or C
Well,
is? 'Cause it
FEMA
sure
has
doesn't
different
mean anything.
categories for different types of work that you can do. And we've been spending every Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning going through all the different types of projects that we have approved and where we're at.
Yeah, this is a C.
This is a C. Okay, it's just their categories.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't reflect a different level of funding or anything? It's just,
Nope.
No.
Any other discussion?
nope.
Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.15, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the Commissioners Court to approve the purchase of a GraphTech FC 9000-75 30-inch plotter with installation software to replace the outdated GraphTech PLT FC 8000 30-inch plotter utilizing auction sales monies. Ms. Hoffer.
For most of you probably know, we make most of our signs at Road and Bridge. There are the regulatory as far as the stop and the yield we order as is, but we order everything as a blank. And so this plotter and software is what, you type in what size you want everything, cuts it out, and you lay it on the blank and go out and install the sign. But this was not included on our forecast of future capital purchases, as our focus for capital is on road equipment. Plotter and software was purchased that we currently have January 6, 2012, making the equipment and software 13 years old. We would like to pay for the plotter out of the revenue monies that will get transferred into the capital outlay line item of 15,612,570. At this time, I ask the Commissioners Court for their approval to authorize this purchase using the auction money revenue as presented. Thank you for your consideration.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve purchase of this new plotter as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Item 1.16, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve an updated Kerr County artificial intelligence policy. Updated policy adds language about embedded AI into smartphones and devices. Mr. Tennis.
Yes, good morning, Clerk. This is just a refresh of the AI policy. It's almost impossible to keep up with it, but the new devices that we're issuing out, county devices, they're all coming now with embedded artificial intelligence, and it's just, we're just trying to stay ahead of it. So this will be published on our website upon approval.
And you understand all this, right?
Yes, sir.
Because we don't.
I'll make a motion to approve the updated policy to the AI policies.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the updated AI policy as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Judge, before we move on, we're handing a note about 110. Before the sheriff comes up, Former Commissioner Letts, was there a point of order, I guess, to 110 we didn't do correctly?
It's not a correction, it's an addition, really. Reagan and I talked about that, and
Well, I saw y'all come back in, so I figured there was something up.
Need to recall it?
Let's recall it so the public knows what we're talking about. This is item 1.10. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to rescind court order number 41503, awarding the contract for dog kennels to Stone Mountain.
okay. The vendor, Stone Mountain, and the other vendors we've been talking with, CSS, require a 50% deposit to get started. They won't do any work until then. That is unusual for us, and we usually, in my recollection, we don't usually do that. And to make it even worse, we would need an immediate hand check that can be approved. Because if we wait until the next court meeting, it's doubtful we will make the deadline by December.
All right, so part of that motion should have had that we need to cut a 50% deposit for that we just approved.
Correct.
Okay.
And, we can get it as soon as we get the invoice.
And it has to be approved by the auditor's office.
Right. And then in a purchase order, I think, bringing the purchase order process. It's just, I know it's unusual, Reagan tried to get rid of that clause, but neither this company or the other company, DSS, agreed to both of them, because these are custom made for this facility.
So really what we need to do is to rescind the old order, put a new order in place for the 278 number, and authorize 50% down payment to be advanced against it.
I don't think that we need to rescind the old order.
We could do a new order.
Well, that's what the agenda item says.
I know that is what it says, but is that the action that you took when you called it the first time?
No, when I called it, we were doing a kind of a supplemental order.
I don't think that you need to rescind it. I think that the first action that you took is fine, but I know that the
Okay.
auditor and probably treasurer will need this next action.
So now we want to add to that supplemental order, the 50% down payment advance.
Correct.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Now, discussion.
And discussion as it requires the invoice, right, to get the proper procedures.
No, I heard subject to the auditor's approval or something.
Process it through the auditor's office every month.
Okay.
Have to get it checked, hopefully, before the next commissioners meeting.
So the motion needs to be subject to the auditor's approval also.
Yeah,
Okay.
understand. Thank you.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Sorry about that.
Those in favor, raise your hand.
Good catch.
Unanimous. Thank you. Next item is 1.17, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a 2-year agreement beginning October 1, 2025, between Kerr County Sheriff's Office and Cisco Food Distributors, who is under contract to provide equipment, products, or services to Sourcewell participating entities that access Sourcewell's cooperative purchasing contracts. Sheriff.
Just looking for the court's approval for this 2-year contract with Cisco. This is primarily for the jail, looking to be competitive and save some money in the next 2 years. So I recommend y'all approve Cisco for the next 2 years for the jail.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the 2-year agreement with Cisco to provide services for KCSO. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you, Sheriff. Item 1.18, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to submit an application for Border Crisis Response, NPA, FY25 from the Homeland Security Grant Program to the Office of the Governor.
Definitely not Noel, but she's here, so she wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
He knows it all.
This is a new grant opportunity, came out, has a very short window for the application, opened on the 10th, and it actually closed on October 10th as well. So this is basically the Homeland Security came out just with some funding, especially with the state legislature passing some things. So this grant will be used towards continued border operations, as well as the 287G program, which Senate Bill 8 had passed, requiring sheriffs to participate in the state of Texas to require sheriffs to participate in that program, which is 287G, which is that cooperation with immigration and customs enforcement. So this will give us some additional funding. Also, part of that is response to basically natural disasters as well as domestic terrorism. There's some funding included into that as well. which would be able to help with some equipment to help prepare for any kind of future events that we have.
How much are we talking about?
There's not a funding, there's not a cap on it.
There's gonna be an allocation?
Yeah, it'll be an allocation, so no matching funds
Okay.
for it, so we just submit what we want, and they'll come back with an answer for us, so.
Okay.
Make it big.
Move for approval.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
And a second? To approve the grant application for the border crisis response as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous? Thank you. Item 1.19, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to accept the Office of the Governor Grant number 4951702, BG Rifle Resistant Body Armor Grant in the amount of $79,740. Mr. Gage, Lieutenant Gage.
So we're just asking the court's permission to go ahead and receive those awards. We got awarded September 3rd, so this will be the first court that you guys have an opportunity to accept it. We applied for this back in January. Previous year in '24, we were awarded $20,400 on that grant, so it went up substantially for this. So we were able to, on that first one, we were able to get basically our patrol division outfitted with the rifle resistant stuff. This will cover the rest of the sheriff's office as well. So.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Office of the Governor grant for BG Rifle Resistant Body Armor in the amount of $79,740.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to accept the body armor grant as presented. Any discussion?
Just so I understand, this is what you showed in the classes for the Sheriff's Academy, right? Citizens Academy?
Yeah, I
And
think,
it still doesn't sacrifice any of the protection, but it's lighter and does
and
float, I think?
Yeah, it'll be, yeah, it's lighter, and it actually be, it's everyday wear for them, so they're in conjunction with plates. So with their soft body armor, these plates insert into it. So our deputies previously our deputies, they had an exterior carrier that had this body armor, and they would have to put that on, deputies, they don't have to go to their vehicle to get another set of body armor. They wear it every single day.
I could tell you, it felt like it was half the weight of what I used to carry, or what a service member carries
Yeah.
every day. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
Those newer plates with all the materials, I mean, they're only about a pound and a half, so there's not
Yeah.
much difference of it, so.
Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous? Item 1.20, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to approve payment for no burn coating at the new Kerr County Animal Facility, which is outside the original scope of work, but surfaced as a requirement by the fire marshal. Mr. Holt.
The court will recall last meeting, we did discuss reducing the number of kennels in the dog kennels from 60 to 52. That created savings of around $40,000 to keep that into our fund account to pay for a requirement, a new requirement based upon an inspection by our city fire marshal, which wanted burn coating put on the inside of our facility. That wasn't seen in the original scope of work. So they had to change the scope of work, and the course of action they came up with, the cheapest course of action, was to add, if you will, an effluent into the spray coating to make it code compliant. Wasn't fun to get that during the build, but it's one of these things that do happen. And in order to find that money or to capture that money, it's why they reduced the number of dog kennels. We spoke about it last time, and I recall it was around $40,000, and that's part of our record. And we had to vote on it today in order to make that course of action come true.
Aren't we now outside the city limits at this facility location?
Fortunately, no, sir. So we get a lot of fire marshal inspections, and I appreciate that to keep us in code. And this is one more requirement besides the seal coat and the other, like for the roads, the other ones that did come up during our build process.
This is extremely troubling for me.
Yes.
Because the city,
Our city, yeah.
they're given those plans and specs for approval, and fire marshal is part of that approval system, and for them to come up at 11th hour and start saying, oh, wait, we missed something, is a pretty big problem for me. Because now we're looking at how much more money? $100,000?
No, it's 40. It was a $40,000 add to the thing, which is why we reduced the scope of our dog kennels.
On top of the other 43,000 we just added.
3,000 back into that scope, the motion you just did, unless I missed something.
No, you're right.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, the whole thing for me, though, is the process. The city should have, that's that guy's job, I
That's
would
right.
assume, as the fire marshal, is to approve those plans prior to them coming out to us. And, you know, this is a county, it's tax dollars, and imagine what it'd be like if it was a private company, and they come in after you've budgeted and prepared and.
I can say
There's
there
gotta be
has been
some way
a
to push back.
significant amount of coordination required with our city services and the fire marshal, including myself and Charlie going personally to meet with them on 3 different occasions to keep this on track.
Did they have a reason that I mean, because the fire code hasn't changed.
Yeah.
They haven't adopted a new fire code.
Been the same since the get-go. And this is, you know, this is piling on something that they messed up on, in my view. Should have
Yeah.
been rolled up at the beginning.
Well, how are we gonna get a CBO to get in there if we don't comply with the code?
Yeah.
And this is a fool's errand here.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's
a
a
have
great
to.
way
I
to
don't
put
I
it.
don't like it, but I know it has to be done to get our certificate of occupancy, which is I mean, I didn't like honestly reducing the scope of our dog kennels to pay for that, but that's what we did on last court session. Not pretty. I don't like it, but it's one of the things. I'm building a building
Well,
and
we can't kill a project
Bill.
over $40,000, but there has to be some recourse. The city needs to do something,
Yeah.
talk to, I mean, because this could occur to anybody. And this is
Yeah.
just flat out an oversight on their part. No other excuse for that.
And we're not the only building going up that has the same concerns, by the way. So I do register and I concur with your concerns as well.
Yeah.
But the real concern is just the project cost creep, if you will. When this bond that approved this whole project was $5.75 million, and man, we're gonna be spending a heck of a lot more than that.
It's happening to us and
Coming
Shriner
out of
as well.
control.
Do what?
It's happening to us for this building and Shriner as well. So we'll continue to work and put the building up.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I will make the motion to approve the additional fire requirement, which is a non-burn coating, to the original scope of work required by our city fire marshal.
Is there a second? I'll second it just so we get a vote. Those in favor, raise your hand.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. No
Unanimous.
choice.
Moving on to item 1.21, consider discuss update on matters related to the Hill Country Energy Sub-Regional Planning Commission.
Okay, I guess we've got another item to talk about the interlocal agreement, so I'll hold off comments on that till the next item is called. So the next Hill Country Energy Sub-Regional Planning Commission Board meeting is now scheduled for Thursday, October 21st at 1 o'clock in the Kendall County Commissioners Courtroom. So that date's kind of changed a couple times. That's now the next date. Hopefully that's final. Unfortunately, we don't have any further response from either PUCT or LCRA. And we'll probably be attending some board meetings to try to convey our messages at least. But at least I did meet with Representative Wes Verdell last Friday, and he informed me that he's put a lot of pressure on PUCT in particular to attend a coordination meeting with us. So we'll see if that bears fruit. And then I had the opportunity to meet Brent Mooney, I'm not sure. Anyway, he is representative for District 2, and I met him Saturday evening along with Representative Verdell to discuss the fight against battery energy storage systems. Representative Mooney was the author of several bills against BESS in the last legislative session. Unfortunately, none of them came out of committee, but I liked his bills the best. He was the one who was proposing that we put a tax on BESS developers equivalent to the federal subsidy that they receive. And that would be the one thing that would stop this nonsense in its tracks. It's these federal subsidies that are creating the incentive for battery energy storage, and for that matter, wind and solar, which necessitate the need for battery energy storage.
I've been beating that drum for.
Yeah, well, anyway,
Get-go.
so I'm committed, and I'm sure that our Sub-Regional Planning Commission will commit to working with both Representatives Verdell and Money in the next legislative session to try to get some far better laws passed, regulations, whatever, to help support us and protect us from some of these things. Again, the biggest hope right now is that the federal government continues down the path of eliminating the federal subsidies, and they seem to be making progress on solar and wind, but they have forgotten about battery energy storage, so we'll keep that pressure up as well. That's all I've got for now. Yeah, 1 o'clock on Thursday, October 21st, 1 p.m., Kendall County Commissioners Courtroom. That's all I have.
Okay, moving on, that's the update. Next item is 1.22. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to determine how to handle the release or disclosure of one, third-party external document request, 2, third-party external requests for personal comments, written or oral, from outside counsel, Charles Kimbrough, and the Commissioner's Court Office regarding project issues or documents related to the proposed 391 Regional Planning Commission with Kendall County.
Okay, and I didn't actually put this on the agenda, but I'm aware that when I asked for a copy of the final Word document that this court approved, that there was an issue and concerns raised that it couldn't be disclosed, although it already was. And I had asked our county attorney if she could assist in preparing the amendments to the interlocal agreement. And initially I was told she couldn't, and I did have a plan B, but.
So I don't think you need to take action on this item. I think that I can prepare the amendment to the interlocal agreement, and because it includes the bylaws as an exhibit, I can amend that as well to include Gillespie County.
If you can take care of it without us having to do it, I'm all in favor of it.
Yep, and that's great. I really appreciate it. My fallback plan, because, you know, this Sub-Regional Planning Commission is committed to minimizing any kind of expenditures and the need to have any audit reports. So I was going to ask Gillespie County to prepare the amendments because they haven't had to do anything yet, unlike Kendall and Kerr, but anyway.
It really is a simple
I know.
tweak to both of those pieces, the interlocal agreement and the bylaws. They're all part of
Very
one
simple.
document. And so the court will have to, the court's already approved Gillespie County to enter into the
Yep.
planning commission, and the court will have to approve the modification to the interlocal agreement. And I plan on bringing that
And then-
at the first meeting.
We don't need to do anything to authorize you to do that?
No, sir.
That's your job.
But
I don't think so.
y'all added Gillespie already last
Yeah,
month, I think.
we've already approved it.
I can go ahead and take care of that for you.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
So we passed 1.22. Let's move on to 1.23, which we've talked about before. Consider, discuss, take appropriate action to nominate up to 5 persons for the Kerr Central Appraisal District Board of Directors for 26-27.
Yeah, well, last time I proposed we nominate Jack Birch, who's acting president right now, Rick Bowles, and Larry Prio.
Okay. I'd like to add one name to the list, and that's David Garrison.
I still retain confidence in Wesley Holcamp. Precinct 3.
He wasn't our nomination before. We helped get him there, but that was Comfort's nomination.
Is that right? So how many are we nominating?
Sounds like those 4,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
because Comfort will have him.
Okay. So is there a motion?
I move to nominate Jack Birch, Rick Bowles, Larry Prio.
David Garrison.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a motion to nominate Jack Birch, Rick Bowles, Larry Prio, and David Garrison to the Kerr County Appraisal District, Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. Any discussion? I don't know David Garrison.
He's been involved in the Appraisal District Review Board for a number of years, and he's stepped down for, I think, the last 1 year or so, which is a requirement before getting on the Appraisal Board. So he meets all the qualifications, lawyer, been involved already, so I think he'd be a great addition.
Judge, can I ask who made the second?
Who made the second?
Yes.
I don't know.
Somebody make a second?
Oh, I'll make a second if it wasn't made.
You made the motion?
Okay.
And
Precinct
Commissioner
four,
Faces? Four?
four made the motion.
And two.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hands. Unanimous. Item 1.24, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve contract with J3 Company to perform emergency work and services for mobilization of crews and equipment to assist Kerr County in search, rescue, and debris removal operations during and after the flood disaster that began on July 4, 2025.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the contract with J3 for the emergency services provided in flood efforts. Any discussion? Those in favor? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, basically, this was done back in July, and we're just kind of cleaning it up to actually have a contract in place. It looks like the total expenditure was $364,000. I guess I'm okay with it.
In order to seek reimbursement for at least a portion of that the court spends from FEMA, we have to have a contract with them.
Yeah.
And so we're making sure that we've got all of our documentation
Yeah.
ready to submit it to them.
Yeah, I understand that, and obviously, we had an emergency to respond to,
And they step up. They
And
did
had
with
to take
wildfires, they
shortcuts,
did with the flood. They're always there. Had a-
Well, it's been a long time since we talked about volunteers. At the beginning of this disaster, we talked about them all the time. But this is just a byproduct of volunteers helping us when we needed them when it happened. And then in order for them to be compensated by FEMA, we need to have put them under contract. So this is retroactive, putting them under contract in order to be able to facilitate their FEMA applications.
Absolutely.
so I guess.
And being good neighbors. I mean, J3, they respond every single time.
That's right.
Every time.
No issue with it, but now you've raised a question, so are we paying them or is FEMA paying them?
It's reimbursement.
It's reimbursement.
We do
We pay
first.
them, And then we seek reimbursement for our portion of it.
And will we get reimbursement for all of it, or just the 75%?
Well, Brett says 75%.
Yeah, so do we have that in the budget? Is that this year's budget?
It is.
Yes.
It's just bleeding, by the way.
Yeah. And then the big question is, when will FEMA come through with the reimbursements?
Well, that's
FEMA
going
does
into
what
it, you
FEMA
know
does.
that's part of it. But I hate to think if we didn't have J3 services for
No,
all this.
that's not my question at all.
These were very critical, much-needed services that were provided at the very beginning of the disaster.
And they'll be there for the
when
next
when
one.
our longtime friends who are our neighbors, show up to help us with a disaster, we accept their help.
Sure.
If this is what it takes to help them get compensated, I'm all in.
And just so you know, FEMA is talking to us about, even though this was emergency and we should be waiting until the emergency is finished and due to the search and rescue still going on, it's not finished. But they have talked about doing a different scope, and we're looking at what that date needs to be right now. So FEMA is working with us so that some of these early costs can be reimbursed sooner.
I think it's fair to discuss what they did provide, because the public may have not seen a lot of that on the river. The majority of it, these crews were in direct support of Sheriff operations and our volunteer firemen.
Jason, do you mind talking about what y'all do?
Yeah.
And the equipment that they had, so they understand how much was deployed for that 364,000 or 1/4 of it that we're paying for.
Yeah, so early on, they called asking if they could help. They got with the sheriff and immediately found needs. Of course, in those early first few days, it was, we were pretty hard and fast search and recovery. We pretty much cleared the majority of the debris from the 2 trailer parks. And we moved to several places up and down the river where large compacted debris piles were in bins and stuff like that. And they pulled a lot of their machinery off current jobs they were doing. And basically they were shut down from their own work to come help Kerr County in removal of that debris. They assisted us on daily search and rescue recovery efforts, and those efforts did provide were fruitful. Were able to locate and return some of the victims back to their families. So they're very helpful.
In a very timely order too, I think. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Do I have a motion and a second?
Yes.
You do, sir.
Okay. No other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.25, consider, discuss, take appropriate action on requests from appointed and elected officials to appoint clerks and assistants for their offices pursuant to the local government code. It's that time of year where they have to appoint them, and we need to approve the appointment process. This is a perfunctory duty that they perform, but we have to let them
I'll
know.
move to approve.
Yeah. I've got a motion?
Second.
And a second?
He was waiting on us.
To let the appointed and elected officials do their job. As presented. Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.26, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to designate a day of the week on which the court shall convene in regular term for FY 24-25 pursuant to the local government section 81.005. And this is for this fiscal year, right?
Yeah, and there's an amendment that changes that to 25-26. There's an amended budget.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we just set it as Mondays, that way when that budget rolls around, technically,
Right.
any Monday can be a regular meeting, though.
We started doing this a number of years ago, and what we do is we designate Mondays as the day of the week that we can have a regular court meeting. We schedule our regular court meetings on the 2nd and the 4th. But in the event that we need to have a regular Commissioners Court meeting, we have the other Mondays designated so that we have the opportunity to transact business instead of having to wait. So that's what we've done the last 4 or 5 years.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve Mondays as the designated day for regular Commissioners Court meetings for the coming fiscal year 25-26 as presented.
Yep.
Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Okay. Number 1.26 is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action. No, we did that one. 1.27, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify and confirm the statewide automated victim notification service contract. This came due. I signed it, like we always do, but I have to come and ask for forgiveness if I haven't signed it, so.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve ratifying and confirming the contract that I signed for the savings program. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.28, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve Kerr County funding agreement with the Economic Development Corporation. I see Teresa Metcalf here. Are you here to talk to us?
If you would like me to, yes.
Why don't you go to the podium? Has everybody met Teresa?
No, sir.
Well, she has a long history with us. She was here, and then she moved to Colorado and worked remotely for us. And now she's moved back, and she's working with the recovery group specializing in relief efforts from the flood damages. And Dot Bach is the executive director. She's the assistant. He came and presented the budget to us last regular meeting, and we approved it. And she's here today to make sure that we go ahead and pass it so that we can go ahead and comply with it. So I'll make a motion that, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the funding with the Economic Development Corporation as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion?
And she gave an excellent presentation to the First Thursdays group, beginning of the month, and appreciated it. It was very informative.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
And we appreciated the reduced cost. Saved a bunch of money. So with that, those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Item 1.29, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify and confirm the Department of Homeland Security Federal Emergency Management Agency License Use Agreement for the use of real property facilities to allow the DRC, which is the Disaster Recovery Center, to stay at the Hill Country Youth Event Center until September 11th. And this is something that they asked, and I approved as the emergency manager at the time. And so this is just a ratification of what we did.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve to confirm and ratify the license use agreement with FEMA at the Youth Event Center for the DRC. Any discussion?
Are they continuing in this role, or are they
They
going to need
changed
another
names.
extension?
They're gonna end-
Changed acronyms.
DCO now?
The
DOC
DOC.
now.
DOC, thank you.
And DRC was FEMA-led, federal, and the DOC is Tatum-led, state. That's part of what we're doing.
Yeah.
As we downsize.
I don't know how many acronyms we've dealt with out
I'm
at the
starting to run out of
EOC.
them because as soon as we finish this one up, then we're going to open up a BRC, a Business Recovery Center.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just kind of asking
Who's
how
on
much
first?
longer they're going to be in the Youth Event Center,
We don't
whatever
know.
you want to
They're-
call it.
The latest is that they'll be out the end of the month. They'll be out this next weekend.
Is that the same with Tatum, or is that
No.
just
No,
FEMA?
no, I thought you meant the whole deal.
no, the DOC is
Up in
supposed to
there.
wrap up by October 1st, and then what we're hoping to do is to have another facility set up through the Kerr EDC, where the BRC will then be occupying space with them.
Right. So if they're going to be there until the end of the month, do we want to leave this date September 11th, or go ahead and extend it?
No, that was just approving, while the.
That's when we did it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
May perhaps be something else in the
And
future.
all we did was go from the DRC to the DOC, from the federal to the state.
it's written. It
So what
says
they've done, yeah,
until
that's
September 11th.
post. What they've done is it now has become the DOC, and it will stay there until, and this weekend, they will terminate it for a couple of days. They've been very accommodating, allowing us to have our gun show, and then they're gonna have y'all's event out there this coming weekend for emergency services. And then when they reopen, they'll be open for 1 week, and they'll close that following Saturday. And then hopefully we'll have the BRC approved through the Kerr EDC.
But we're hoping that the BRC is going to be embedded with
Correct.
the EDC.
Right.
There you go, an acronym.
Right.
Yes.
We're gonna create our own acronym book, okay?
Yeah, it's, for the patience of the court, we have to discuss this because of the quorum rules. So honestly, Commissioner Paces and I are learning about this right now.
Right.
And we're playing fair by the Texas codes. What do we see for the long term, being resident in Hill Country Youth Event Center throughout the whole rest of the year as far as coordination entities?
We hope it's freed up.
We do?
Where we are is and I don't mean to get off agenda item here, but the KEDC has made arrangements to rent a facility.
Okay.
To do the long-term recovery group. Will be office there, along with the executive and assistant director of EDC. And that was where we hope to put the BRC, the business recovery.
And there's
So
16
all that's going to move from the
subcommittees.
Youth Event Center into this new facility over off Coronado.
Yeah, there's 16 subcommittees, like the River Riparian Group and all the different ones. They all will be coming under one roof is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I know roof space is important, and I've been pushing for that, to have a
Right.
coordination center for the long term. I was hoping we had something available, because every dollar counts. We didn't have to rent another facility. The requirement, I got it. We need that for the long term. No argument. I appreciate those that are
Our
still
EDC is
doing
getting
that.
grants to pay for the lease of the facility.
There was some discussion
Okay.
about 550 Earl Garrett, the second floor there has been.
We're-
So
we're not-
that doesn't work?
Not yet.
Not yet.
And that was my thought as
This is a
well.
freestanding facility, and we're gonna be able to put a lot of people in it.
That's right.
And and all at one place.
Departments.
It's kind of one-stop shopping. The public can go in and move from room to room, from desk to desk, person to person,
Right.
in order to get their problem solved.
Because there was that small building where the HF ham radio operators work.
Yeah, that's very small.
And it is very small, and 550 Earl
550
Garrett.
Earl, I'd love to get some rental income.
Yeah, and we're trying
Well,
to.
what you need to know is that people like the BRC, those groups, they're not paying rent.
Okay. It's a requirement. I got it. We're
Right.
meeting it. It's reimbursable.
The
Okay.
youth event center is freeing up.
Good,
Be back
because
to normal use.
the 4-H kids had to relocate, and I heard about that this weekend from one of their events because the meeting rooms are not available yet.
Right.
I get it.
That's where the UFC is.
Yes, sir.
We had the APO Advisory Council meeting in the Union Church.
Yeah.
It worked very well. So
Yeah.
That's another alternative for meetings.
Well, it's unfortunate, but until we get things in a better place,
That's the way it is.
it has to be what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've got a
Everybody's been
motion
patient.
and a second to ratify and confirm what we did with the DRC and the DOC.
Yep.
As discussed. Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.30, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to renew the TAC Risk Management Pool Liability Insurance. Mrs. Potter.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. This is our annual renewal for the liability insurance. I'm asking for your approval.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve renewing the insurance with TAC as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.31, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to authorize overtime pay instead of compensatory time earned for hours worked for all non-exempt employees for hours worked over 40 hours directly related to responding to the July 4 flooding disaster for pay periods through October the 4th. Ms. Sullivan.
So I'm bringing this to you, this pay period that we're currently working on for pay on Friday only had 15 and a half hours. I was asked by the engineering department to let you guys know that once Bobby gets back from vacation, that he will hit the ground running and probably have more overtime in the future, in the coming weeks. So I just wanted to put that out there for you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Got a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the overtime pay instead of compensatory time for through October 4th, as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you.
Approval agenda. We've already covered the, Jody, we already covered the agenda addendum, right?
Yeah, that was just changing the
Right.
date.
So this is 2.1, budget amendments.
Yes, you have before you 7 budget adjustments. Most of these are end-of-year adjustments.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 2.2, pay bills.
Yes, invoices for today's consideration amount to $2,911,869.45.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the bills as presented. Pay the bills as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 2.3, late bills.
Yes, we have $1,370.25.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the late bills as presented. Any discussion?
Yeah, can you clarify, are these late bills from the Treasurer's Department?
So they went to a conference to where they had the checks pre-printed
I
for
didn't
them
really want
in
an
a
answer.
timely manner. And the hotel has since gone to where they will not accept cash. So they had to use their credit cards.
Okay.
Who'd have thought?
I know.
Those in favor, raise your hand.
It
Unanimous.
shows we actually read these things.
2.4, auditor reports.
Yes. This week, we passed out an audit of the treasurer's office, and we're asking that you accept that report.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the auditor's report as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank
Monthly reports.
Yes. For July 2025, amended report, Kerr, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2. Revised report, Environmental Health and Animal Services, Director Reagan Givens. August 2025, Tommy Rodriguez, Constable, Precinct 1. Kerr, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2. County Clerk's Office, County Clerk Nadine Alford. Environmental Health and Animal Services, Director Reagan Givens. Revised report, Environmental Health and Animal Service, Director Reagan Givens. Veteran Service Office, Director Jenna Sanchez. District Clerk's Office, District Clerk Dawn Lance. I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the monthly reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 2.6 are court orders. I've reviewed the court orders, and they appear to be in order to me. Those are court orders number 41496 through 41529.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the court orders as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to information agenda 3.1, status reports from department heads. I didn't see any hands go up. Okay. Moving on to 3.2, status reports from elected officials. None. 3.3, status reports from liaison commissioners. We've already kind of heard.
Yeah, I've got one more to add, though. Headwaters Groundwaters Conservation District. Gene Williams has announced his retirement at the end of this month.
Wow.
Monica Thibodeau will be the new interim director over there. Gene has been there for 23 years, I believe is correct. He's going to be extremely missed, very well loved, and very knowledgeable man, and I learned a ton from him for the 8 years that I was over there. Him and Chris Childs and a couple others were and Monica were very instrumental in most of the knowledge I have of water over there. And could not appreciate him more, so I wish him a very happy, enjoyable retirement. And them in their search as they decide whether Monica's going to be their full-time director or if they're going to be moving in a different direction. But pretty impactful decision to decide to retire, and I'm happy for him.
Here.
I've got one.
Okay.
On behalf of the VFDs and CARFA, I just want to remind the court they are very anxious to hold an after-action review session with the appropriate responders to the July 4th flood. It seems like we've been held up by legal concerns, but it's still a very important thing that we've got to find a way to do it.
Any other liaison
No,
reports?
I've covered mine.
Executive session?
Yes.
None?
Oh, no.
What do we got?
Well, I do have something that says executive session.
No. We do?
Okay.
No,
Say.
just has the paperwork. So I thought it was going to
Just-
happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we need to have one, some legal advice on the paperwork that you have in place, then we can do that.
This time I'm good. Thank you. Cool.
Okay, there
that
being
over.
no further business before the court, we are adjourned.